I made a community poll asking you guys which exotic armor piece you would like to see next. I first made a build on the new exotic Titan Gauntlet, and if you'd like to see it, be sure to check it out after you're watching this video. And Hunters won by 2% from Warlocks, which is crazy. So without further ado, let's head to this Threaded Spike Tangle build. Here's what this exotic chest armor piece called Morai. The armor perk is called Web Catcherer. Your Threaded Spike can bounce to Tangles, and it would also detonate them and return immediately. The Tangles will detonate by the Threaded Spike, and it would also rewoven and retrieved by it. Catches without a Tangle refund extra melee energy. In order for you to spawn in a Tangle, you're going to want to inflict Strand debuffs onto the enemies. And the Strand debuffs are Unravel, Suspend, and Sever. And in this build, we are going to be severing targets with our melee ability and with the exotic weapon we are using for this build. So here's one way to spawn in a Tangle. I'm going to do a grapple melee because it will unravel them. So you see this enemy, I'm going to grapple, wait a few seconds, and melee him. As soon as you see that, the Tangle spawns and you're gonna have to wait 11 seconds for the Tangle cooldown to go down, and afterwards for the exotic chest piece, you're gonna use your melee to hit the Tangle, and be sure to catch it as the Threaded Spike is coming back to you to get another Tangle. Then you're gonna yeet it from existence and let the Beyblades from your Tangles kill them. And I got another one there, collect it, bada bing bada boom, and rinse and repeat. That is basically it. So you can roughly be able to spawn in 4 of these Beyblades. And in order for you to spawn in those Beyblades, you're going to want to use this aspect called Whirling Maelstrom. When destroying a Tangle, it would basically create a Beyblade that will damage targets, and it would also emitting unravel projectiles whenever they are defeated. So we're going to have a lot of ways to spawn in a Tangle, but the only thing that sucks is the cooldown. There is no way for you to decrease the cooldown at this time. And you're probably wondering how I have 2 grapples. The aspect that I'm using for this build is called Widow's Silk. It will give you an additional grenade charge, and also too, your grappling hook will create a grapple Tangle at the grapple point. So what they mean by that is that when you grapple and you let go, that is considered a grapple point. So you can grapple and pay attention to my grenade. I'm gonna keep doing it non-stop, and as what you're seeing by my grenade, it is not disappearing. So you can basically do this infinitely as long as you keep on activating your grapple on the grapple point. Another way to spawn in a grapple point is the exotic weapon I am using for this build called the Navigator. In order for you to spawn a grapple point, you're going to want to get the catalyst for it. So all you would have to do is hold your reload button to convert it into a one-shot, one-opportunity gun. Once you do, you see this little green reticle in front of your screen. It's an indicator of letting you know where the grapple point will appear. So I'm going to shoot it right here, reloading my weapon, and there you go. A grapple point. And also the cooldown for the catalyst for this trace rifle is 20 seconds. I did decide to put this because of 2 things. One, you're gonna sever targets, and severing makes the enemy deal less damage to you by 40%. And 2, because of the grapple point, because there is gonna be a time where you're only gonna have 1 grapple available, and for an emergency grapple melee kill, if you want to activate a Tangle, just basically convert your trace rifle into the grapple point, yeet it, and then use your grapple and get a grapple melee around the vicinity from the grapple point, and just keep doing that, and there you go. You get a Tangle, you melee, and Tangle go whirling. There's only 1 melee for the Strand Hunter, and it's called Threaded Spike. I want to let you guys know what it does because we're tying this for the exotic armor piece. So as you are hitting targets, you're going to be severing them. Again, they will deal less damage to you by 40%, and as you're hitting multiple targets, you're going to be generating melee energy. So the more enemies that are going to be getting hit by this melee, the more melee energy you're going to receive. And as the Threaded Spike is going to come back to you, you're going to want to activate your charged melee ability button to catch it. And as you catch it, it will increase the amount of melee energy you get returned. I want you to pay attention to my melee ability when it comes to me hitting multiple targets with the Threaded Spike. So I'm just going to hit this guy. It's going to keep bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And if I catch it, I got almost my melee back. And it also depends on how much melee you have for your stat. So the more of a melee stat you have, the more melee energy you're going to be receiving. So as what you see here, I have 72. And if I were to increase it all the way up to 100 melee, I'm going to be getting my melee back like that very quickly. So just to give you a demonstration, I have 104 melee. So you remember how I didn't get that much melee energy when I was hitting all of those targets? Well, now pay attention to my melee. Here it goes. Here goes the Threaded Spike hitting multiple enemies. And if I catch it, I'm going to yeet this and boom, I got my melee fully back. So as long as you have 100 melee for your stat and you were to hit a boatload of enemies, you're going to be getting your melee back instantly. But if you were to go beyond the threshold for your melee stat, it will increase your melee damage. I really want you guys to pay attention to this ability, which is Gambler's Dodge. And you're probably wondering, like, why would we need to pay attention to this? Basically, you just dodge and get your melee back, right? No, they changed how it works. So now it ties to your melee stat. So the more melee stat you have, the more melee energy you're going to be receiving. So if you have 100 melee, it's basically like the old Gambler's Dodge, where you just dodge near an enemy and get your melee back. Also too, you do not have to dodge near an enemy for Gambler's Dodge, which is pretty awesome. Let me show you. So I'm just gonna toss my melee. I'm not gonna collect it. There's no enemies around me. I'm gonna dodge, boom. Got my melee back. I know it's gonna get hard getting used to the new Gambler's Dodge, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And as I was playing, I was treating it like the old Gambler's Dodge. So there is gonna be 4 fragments in total, and here's what I put. One of them is optional, and 3 I recommend you put. The first one is Thread of Warding. Picking up an orb of power grants you Woven Mail. So the exotic armor piece we are using also gives us Woven Mail, just by dealing sustained damage. And as you have Woven Mail, you will deal more damage with this trace rifle. So pay attention to the left side of my screen as I am dealing sustained damage to this enemy when it comes to getting a lot of Woven Mail. So here we go, dealing sustained damage, keep going, and boom, I get 10 seconds of Woven Mail, which is not bad, right? It gives you a 45% damage resist. I also want to let you guys know why I put this fragment is because I want to refresh the timer for Woven Mail. So you're going to want to first get 10 seconds on your trace rifle. Once you do, it's going to be ticking down and down. As soon as I pick up this orb, boom, goes back up to 10. That's why I put that fragment. The next fragment I put is Thread of Continuity. Suspend, Unravel, and Sever effects applied to targets have increased duration. And in this build, we're going to be applying all of those. Suspend from our seasonal artifacts, Unravel from our grapple melee and with our whirling maelstrom, and Sever from our melee ability and our exotic trace rifle. The third fragment I went with is Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy. Here's why I put that fragment. Even though we have Gambler's Dodge to give us our melee back, it doesn't hurt to get more melee energy, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to be activating my class ability. I'm only going to be activating it if it's an emergency. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to try to spawn in my tangle from my abilities. So I'm going to get this kill right here. Once I get the tangle, I'm going to pop my melee, collect the tangle, and pay attention to my melee. It's going to keep going up and going up because we have Thread of Fury. It's going to be keep hitting them, and boom, we get our melee back. And then we can just pop another tangle, collect it, and if there's more enemies, it's going to be proccing Thread of Fury more because the Whirling Maelstrom is ticking damage. The final fragment I went with is Thread of Ascent. This one isn't necessary. It's only if you don't like to reload because we are going to be spamming our grapples frequently. So I just might as well put this fragment. So activating your grenade ability reloads your weapon, and it would also grant you bonus airborne effectiveness and handling for a short time. If you guys would like to copy the seasonal artifacts, feel free to do so. And same goes for the armor mods. Again, you can freely change it off if you like, depending on how your playstyle is. You can swap the armor mods, weapons, anything. You don't have to put anything that you don't like. I'm just showing you that what feels most comfortable to me. So yeah, have fun with it, tweak it, do whatever you like. Okay, I just want to give you guys my general thoughts on the new exotic Moirai for the Hunter. When I first saw this, I was extremely excited and very hyped for it, but as I was playing it and testing it out, I don't know, man, it made me not want to really use this exotic. It really isn't any good when it comes to end game content, and you know me, I really like builds that are very good for end game content. This is more of a fun build if you're really interested in getting unlimited grapples and also unlimited tangles. The build is for you, but I don't know, I just don't really like it. I hope my thoughts doesn't discourage you into trying the build for yourself. So all I gotta say is just try it, see how it feels for you, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the build. So the next video I'm going to make is on the Warlock. So if you guys really want to see it, be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe. We are so very close to reaching 10,000 subscribers. That is a lot, and I do really appreciate all of the love and support. I also stream over on Twitch and Kick. Come and hang out. I don't bite.